You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Hey guys, Jim Chester here with the Chiro Hustle live stream. This is an afternoon edition with Dr. Jennifer Rada. She is coming from the other side of the mountains here in Colorado. She's over in the Denver market, and now I'm out here in Grand Junction. I guess they call where I'm at now called the Grand Valley, and you're in the Mile High City. So how's it going, Dr. Rada?
Oh my gosh, it's going great. It's amazing. And, well, it's cloudy actually. It's cloudy and like 47 degrees, I think, today, but it's pretty sweet. Yeah. How are you doing over there?
Cool. It's taken a lot of settling in, and we're getting used to the routine out here. It's actually always sunny out here. Don't tell anybody else, but it's always nice out here in Grand Junction. It's real Colorado, in my opinion. It's got true grit to it. It's got like the real Colorado vibe to it. So I appreciate what's going on out here, and it's a little bit slower. People actually have conversations with you. They don't bury themselves in their technology when you're trying to interact with them. It's actually like a face-to-face and a solid handshake. And yeah, it's real Colorado. I like it.
Yeah, it's not a Denver suburb yet.
No, it's not. It's actually anybody that wants to come out to Grand Junction. It's a 4-hour drive from Denver. You can't get much further away anywhere in the state than where I'm at.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I want to jump into it with you, talk about some things that are really cool that make you unique in the chiropractic marketplace, and a little bit of what you've done over your career. I know you're pushing into 2 decades as a chiropractor. You just want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I can totally do that. I am from Davenport, Iowa, originally, and yeah, woo, Davenport, just like Jim Chester. And yeah, and I graduated, in February of '99 from Palmer in Davenport. I had a couple kids while I was in school. I came out. I ended up being in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. And I had anybody heard of Manitowoc? Have you heard of Manitowoc, Wisconsin? Other than hanging out with me? Yeah, no. That's because they're not that many people there. There were 10 chiropractors total. And I started out in practice, and I literally sucked at it for the first 5 years, as far as seeing patients, growing a business. I was a good chiropractor. They did a good job in school, but and I just figured it out. And eventually we grew the practice. We hired some associates, and I set it up so it was automated. So I ended up taking off to Nepal, which you know this story already, but I was gone for a month in the middle of nowhere in the Himalayan mountains. It was about 12 years into practice, and I came back. Everything worked. I thought it was going to blow up while I was gone, but it totally worked. My associates were good. We actually saw more patients while I was gone, and then I got the bright idea to just sell it all and move to Denver and hike around. So that's the super short version, but yeah, we figured it out, and it's been fantastic being in chiropractic, being the birthplace of chiropractic from Davenport. It's such an honor to have almost 20 years in the profession. When I graduated, I thought if I just make it 8 years is going to be so long, and I'm going on 20. So yeah, it's been awesome, but what a ride.
Yeah, that's fun. It's really cool that we're both from Davenport, Iowa. I didn't know that when I first met you until we started talking, but I thought that was really cool. I'm just going to share a little backstory. So Dr. Rada saw me speaking at the Mile High Philosophy Night. I think it was 8 months ago or something. But you saw me speak up there, and I was talking about something that we're doing right now is in getting engagement on Facebook, and getting comments going, and getting your tribe moving, and getting, interaction with you and your brand, and, building the story and the momentum. And off interview here earlier, we were talking about how Tristan Schaub talked about when I first got onto the scene doing these engaging questions. Sometimes early on, I'd get 2 responses, and it was crickets out there, and I just stayed consistent with it every day. And before you know it, we got to the point now where everybody and their uncle and every marketer and everybody out there is putting these little blue screens up, or these little squiggly screens with like questions and gauges. But early on, that's kind of how the momentum really started to roll, to where the Chiro Hustle movement became something that we could actually dive into and market. So so that's what we were talking about a little bit off camera. But let's talk a little bit about what your specialty is. And that would be, I know you started a group called the Chiropractic Entrepreneurs Group.
Right. Yes. Yeah. On Facebook, we started a Facebook group. And the whole idea behind that group is that the chiropractic colleges turn out awesome chiropractors. But as we all know, we all need help with the marketing part of it. And I imagine that there was this group of chiropractors out there that love what they did, but also had a business mindset. They were like, yeah, I want to run an amazing business. So we started the Chiropractic Entrepreneurs Group on Facebook page to share ideas, share techniques for growing your practice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So if people are interested in joining into that group, what can we tell them?
You go to, we'll post a link. You want to post a link after this to the Chiropractic Entrepreneurs Group?
Yeah, one of the first comments that we'll post after we're done with the interview is I'll put something down there. I think you sent that to me in the chat. I'll just copy and paste that in there for everybody to link over to the Chiropractic Entrepreneurs Group, which I think is honestly something very creative and unique. That what you've done is you created a group before it was actually kind of pushed by the chiropractic marketing arena. I thought it was pretty cool that, I searched out for all these cool chiropractic groups like over a year ago, and I found yours. And I thought that you did something that was really interesting, is you started a tribe before it was cool to start the tribe.
Nice. Yeah. And that's funny because that's part of the backstory too about us meeting at the philosophy night. Remember that? You had your headset on. I'm like so excited because there are 20 chiropractors or more in a room for Danny Knowles. And I'm like hugging everybody, shaking hands, and I see you with your headset, and all of a sudden you get up on the stage. I'm like, wait a minute, that's the guy that's been posting to my entrepreneurs group for like the last 6 months relentlessly. And I had no idea that you're even in Denver, like zero idea that you're even in Denver. So that was super cool to just run into you. Yeah.
And it's been pretty cool since then too. We've actually built a friendship, and I've had a chance to see inside of your world, and you're helping me create an information product, teaching people how to do chiropractic screen events better, which I think is going to be a huge benefit to everybody out there that's watching and listening. Doing actual grassroots chiropractic marketing and building practices by harvesting your communities and bringing people in and getting them healthy. I think it's dynamic, and thank you for helping me do all this work on that too.
Absolutely. I think we need it. We need it in chiropractic. I think one of the biggest myths is that you have to have all this, not that you can't have this tech stuff and you can do online things, you can do all this marketing, totally viable. At the same time, maybe it's not as sexy, but it's totally cool to let's do screenings. Let's keep patients in there. Let's have retention systems. Let's the grassroots, foundational stuff that keeps patients coming in. Yeah. And I love that you do that. And that's a huge part, I think, of chiropractic success, not just the tech, the fancy stuff. Yeah.
Well, I think, what we've learned is we have to do multiple levels of influence. We have to, everything I've ever heard is you want multiple streams of income. Well, you want multiple streams of new patients too.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So let's talk about, your practice success a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about, your retention and referrals and why that matters so much to, the maturity of a practice.
Right. Absolutely. I don't know where all your audience is at. They're probably all sorts of phases in their practice. But when I started out, my experience was we ran newspaper ads. This is actually before Facebook. That sounds really old, right? But we did newspaper ads. We did radio ads. We did mailers and flyers and all these print things. There actually were phone books then, for those of you who remember, the giant phone books. That you probably now just prop things up on. I can't believe they still deliver those. Any case, we had all of that stuff, and we spent, thousands of dollars a month running that type of advertisement. And it was kind of shotgun. We'd run it, we tracked it all, but then we started bringing everything in-house. We started doing retention and referrals hardcore in the clinic, because I kept thinking, you know what? I could spend $600 to $1,000 on a small newspaper ad, or I can throw a heck of a party in the clinic. We can have all sorts of programs and systems and cool stuff here that makes this the magnetic place that patients want to go. So we transitioned into that, and literally we saw we grew the first year that I owned the practice, we grew 72%, like just blew it out of the park. And then I owned it for another 11 years. So we just really, that's what we did well. Like we were cool. We were fun. People liked coming there. And then they sent their friends and family. But then I got to the point where I realized we'd done all this stuff, but we hadn't actually like organized it or systematized it. So yeah, we did it. And then we put on autopilot. And the next thing you know, we were like completely existing on referrals and patient retention, which was so cool and so easy once you figured it out anyway.
It's funny. Scott Little comments in their killer ads. Do you remember those?
Totally. I had those killer ads. There's some picture of me that says like why I did drugs in the 80s or something like that. You know, like they had those like funky headlines always. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Have you seen killer ads?
No, I actually, somebody told me about them a couple years ago, and I looked at the website, and it seemed like a good strategy. I don't know if people are still doing them. I don't know if it's still effective, but I have heard of the killer ads.
Yeah, they were print ads, right. Yeah.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro's Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. So we have
Go ahead.
Ashley Oshner says one killer ad equals 80 new patients in the door.
Yeah, I think killer ads have gone online. In those days before online was a thing, you had to like literally print them out. It was a whole sheet of paper. You'd mail it out in the newspaper. It was like a newspaper insert. Yeah.
But I'm just going to throw a couple shout outs here. We have Ashley Oshner coming in from Chicago. Scott Little is down in Woodland Park, Colorado. We have Brad Elliser coming in from, what's the city out there in Washington? Tenino. And we have Tim McFadden on the line from Yakima, Washington. And we have some good influence out there in the Chiro sphere. I'm watching our live stream right now. It's pretty cool. We've been up to now 11 viewers. So we're hitting the people out there that want to communicate with us. But let's just talk a little bit about, you're my second woman in the Chiro Hustle live cast episodes this year. Let's talk a little bit about what it means to, represent the woman chiropractor out there too.
That is I love that. It's interesting because I saw some of the posts, like you had a list, I think, of like the women chiros you have on for this year. And yeah, there's a part of me that likes to think it shouldn't really matter if it's a woman chiropractor or a male chiropractor. But that being said, it's pretty awesome to be a woman in chiropractic. I was the only female in my county in Wisconsin. Yeah. And people would come in and they're like, oh my gosh, it like part of that blew up the practice as well as a woman in chiropractic. Now, I think one of the weird things for me, tell me what you know about this. Like when people graduate in my class, it was 48% women. But when you come out into the industry, what do you think? Like 25% at the most?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of a male-driven, doctor-minded group. I think that there has been like a man, like, kind of, I don't know how to say it the best, but there has been kind of a man influence on the chiropractic profession. I mean, as well as the doctor profession. I don't think it's any different between the chiropractor to the doctor profession. I think that, MD, even to chiropractor, there's still like a heavy influence of males in the marketplace. But like you said, back in, what year was it? 99?
When I graduated, February 99.
There was what, like 48% of a woman in the graduating class?
Yeah, 48%.
I think what I've heard recently is that all chiropractic schools have about a 50% woman enrollment rate. So right. I think the tide is turning a little bit.
It is. I don't know what happens like after they get out in practice. If there are female chiros, I'm sure there will be that see this now or that see this later. But I'm excited when I see groups of chiropractors at any point. But when I see groups of women chiropractors, I'm like, yes, my people, here they are. So I think there's like some challenges, like unique challenges potentially, but also some like unique opportunities for the patients and the chiropractors, the female docs out there, for sure.
Yeah, and we have one here, DC to B, Dr. Lisa Tacky, DC to B. She is over coming in from the Netherlands, Holland. She actually was working with a good friend of mine, Travis Corcoran, who runs Top Chiropractic over in the Netherlands. And he actually, I think, I don't want to misspeak, but I think he had something to do with her getting into chiropractic school.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's really cool to like see the connection in chiropractic start to come together too. And Alan Waddell, he was at Palmer. He's still at Palmer. He came and saw me speak on the 27th of November. I spoke at the DD Pie House, so I had some downtime to be able to talk to him a little bit. But yeah, the whole thing. And Lisa says she still is working with Dr. Travis Corcoran. So that's pretty cool.
Very nice. That's awesome.
I think that, the influence that we have with a platform like this and what we do with these chiropractic groups and how Facebook is like, obviously we have people on here from Salt Lake City, Utah to Davenport, Iowa to the Netherlands. I mean, what we're able to do with the leverage of technology and consistency, we can, get into more people's news feeds. We get, I guess the 2018, get into the scroll. You got to get into people's scroll, and you got to get people to turn on notifications too. If you guys are following me, turn on notifications for when I go live. So anytime I go live, you'll be able to see these shows. We're going to be doing more fast and furious approach to chiropractic live interviews. My goal is to put out an interview a day. If we hit 80% of that, I think that that's still a pretty ambitious launch pad for the chiropractic message, interviewing people like yourself. And I know that you're enjoying the chiropractic movement out here in Colorado. Tell me about that when you started going to that philosophy group up there. How did that make you feel?
Oh my goodness. So the small town I was in Wisconsin, great town, great chiropractors, but like a lot of small towns, they never got together. So we're isolated, if you know that feeling. Well, and you see chiropractors who are in their practice. Coming out to Colorado, I don't know, I probably saw it. Actually, I never told you this. Before I came out to Colorado, Danny Knowles, I actually messaged him saying, hey, you're doing some cool things with Mile High. I will totally volunteer. I'll fly out there. I'll hang out. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I don't know if I ever told you that. I talked to Danny before I even knew who Danny was. So then when he had philosophy night, and I didn't know what to expect, and I showed up on there were probably, like I said, 20, 25 chiros there that night. Mm-hmm. I had never seen anything like it, except for like a big event. If you go to Parker, you go to like Life or some of their big events. But for a small local community to have that many chiropractors who leave their houses, come out on a cold night and show up to hang out with each other and hear philosophy. I didn't even know what to say. It was so amazing. Yeah, it was so cool. And everybody was so awesome. Sometimes I feel like when we're all off in our own little practices, we can get disconnected really well. And it's coming together to share the philosophy, to encourage each other, be like, this is awesome. We're doing amazing work in the world. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. So I went back every month, and then I saw you there, and then I spoke. What was it? In November, I was a speaker there, and still just the same great turnout.
Yeah, and I think that the chiropractors in Colorado are very supportive of each other. I think that at the group, especially over on the eastern slope where you are now, I haven't met too many out here on the western slope. Been out here for a couple days now, but I think that there's a great synergy within the group, and I'm supporting Danny in Mile High today, Licensed to Heal.
Very nice.
Yesterday, I also had a Mile High shirt on too, so it's a back-to-back supporting the Mile High movement out here in Colorado. But yeah, I think it's cool because what he does is he gets local talent, and rarely will there be anybody that comes in from somewhere else, but he does bring people in from across the country and to be a speaker. But it's really cool that local talent gets to get up and speak philosophy to each other and support each other.
Right. Yeah. And it's not salesy. It's just chiropractors coming together, talking philosophy, like why we do what we do and how we can do it better, like coming from the heart. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. Plus, the chiro community is so strong in Denver.
Plus, I think it's kind of an incubator ground for, people to rise up and get better self-confidence about speaking. And I think that, I'm sure Ashley Oshner mentioned something down here about What's the underground info going down in CEO on the legislative board side? Danny Knowles said, watch for it. I'm sure that there's some big news coming, Ashley, about the legislation out here, but maybe I can make a special post about it sometime this week. I actually talked to Danny sometime soon, so I'll try to figure out what the idea is. Maybe I'll make a special episode with Danny talking about what's going on in Colorado right now.
Yeah, that'd probably be good. That'd be really good. I know a lot of people are asking about that, right? Yeah, if we're going to switch to like prescriptions, maybe not. I heard some posts on that or saw some stuff. Yeah, on like pharmaceutical stuff. Did you see that? Mm. Yeah, you need to do a cast on
it. But yeah, sure. I think that there's still confusion in the chiropractic world. Last night I made a post saying how blessed I felt to be understanding the chiropractic culture more and how at peace I was to understand more of that. And Tom Potisk, Wisconsin guy, asked me what I meant by that. And I guess it changes daily. Like our interpretation of the chiropractic world changes so often. And, that's why we need to stick to the philosophy and the fundamentals and the roots of real chiropractic. And, we can't get caught up into the business end of it. I mean, obviously you have to like run a business, but you can't let the confusion in the marketplace confuse you from what real chiropractic is what I'm saying.
Right. Absolutely. I think when you share a really pure chiropractic message, you don't have to write prescriptions. You don't have to have like all these adjunctive things that are piled in underneath chiropractic, as long as you know how to share the chiropractic message and then run the business from the backside. Yeah. I think there's actually power in that. It's not that you don't have to. I think there's actually power in just purity.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times I've also noticed this too, Dr. Rada, is the marketplace has become vulnerable because of the dependency on the insurance reimbursements, and then it became easier for the actual to fraction and to make divisions within the chiropractic world, what makes it easier to attack. And I think that the more that people realize that they have to move to a cash-based style model and stay away from the insurance dependency, the more strength that chiropractic has to deliver pure chiropractic to the people.
Right. Yeah. And that goes right along. It goes hand in hand with the idea of retention and referrals. Honestly, if you could keep people in, you don't have to keep chasing them. Like you don't have to keep new patients. And that's one thing I think in this industry that we're taught is like, you need more new patients. That's like the mantra that we hear everywhere. And my experience has been exactly the opposite. Like if you take care of the people you have, your cup overflows, right? They send their friends, they send their family, they stick with you. And it's not just cool for the patients, but it's great for the doctor as well and for the practice. Right.
Dr. Ashley says, bam.
Bam. I love Ashley. Hi,
Ashley. Good old Midwestern boy, Nebraska.
That's right.
Nebraska dude.
Mm-hmm. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Well, I know we're coming up on the end of our live stream segment. Is there anything that we didn't share with our audience that you might want to share with them?
You know what, you and I did not talk about this in advance, but I've got a webinar that I'm planning for tomorrow. It's a Saturday, but I'm going to record it. So maybe if it's cool with you, I'll post a link to it later. We're going to talk about retention, referrals, and just some super simple things you can do to like check out your practice and see where opportunities are to keep your patients longer and to really share that chiropractic message.
Yeah, I think, obviously, like anything that we can do to build practice success for anybody, I'm a part of that. So yeah, please share the link with me and I'll share it too. And if anybody wants to join that group again, the Chiropractic Entrepreneurs Group, we're going to put that link in the comments down there. And I just want to say, thank you, everybody that's been on this live stream. This is the second live stream of women chiropractors that we're going to be doing over the next 4 months. Maybe that will elongate into the rest of the perpetuation of the Chiro Hustle movement. If you guys feel that would be a cool addition for the remainder of our Chiro Hustle movement, put in the comments like a thumbs up or something, and I'll pay some attention to that. But Dr. Rada, thank you for being on today, and thank you for talking to people about retention and referrals and practice success and all these cool things, and really how you feel about being in the chiropractic market out here in Colorado. And I think that you shared a lot of cool stuff, and I think more people that gets to know you and join your chiropractic entrepreneurs group is going to benefit. So once again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's good to see you. I can't believe you're 4 hours away in Grand Junction, but maybe I'll see you in a week. I know. So, yeah, congrats on getting settled, and yeah, it's so good to see you, and thank you so much for letting me be part of this. I appreciate it.
Cool. Well, I will say have a good day, everybody, and thank you for being on the Chiro Hustle live stream today. See you.
Awesome. See ya.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.